Last night on MasterChef Australia, a cookbook challenge had them working overtime to get every detail right. And it was Michael's recipe that stood the test.
Congratulations, buddy.
Winning him a massive advantage, courtesy of Maggie Beer.
I've got the whole night to go through this recipe and then blow the girls out of the water tomorrow.
Tonight,
you have just entered the danger zone.
finals week, and they're all a step away from disaster.
By the end of today, 2 of you will be heading into an elimination.
Cooking a Maggie Beer terrine
You've only got 30 minutes left.
It's very technical.
that seriously pushes our finalists.
To get this dish cooked perfectly, you have to hit the time dead on.
It's going to be very tough.
If there was ever a time to pull out all the stops, it's now.
I am feeling so under pressure, it's unbelievable.
But when it comes to the tasting, no one expected this.
Yesterday I won the cookbook challenge, so I got a huge advantage going into today's challenge.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah, I think so. I've had the recipe for Maggie Beer's chook terrine. I've tasted the dish, and I've practiced some of the elements overnight, so I'm feeling really confident that I can replicate this dish and get it right. Last night before I went to bed, I just put out a couple of pastry tins. I want the girls to think we're cooking a dessert from the dessert king, Adriano Zumbo, just to throw them off the scent a bit.
What's he been cooking? Well, I'm not really sure, but we've got butter, orange, we've got tartines.
It looks like we're cooking a dessert today.
There he is.
I'm actually feeling a lot calmer than what I was when I first woke up because I feel like I know where today's going.
Someone, he's been cooking last night.
Dessert? It's got to be Adriano Zumbo.
I have my eye completely on the prize at the end of this week, and today is just another hurdle to get over before I make it there.
Welcome, our fabulous 4. This is day 2 of finals week. You have just entered the danger zone. This is where we start the difficult process of whittling you down in search of our MasterChef champion. But I want to tell you, you are 4 of the best cooks that we've ever had on MasterChef.
Let's not forget some of those beautiful memories that you've left us. Alana, you've been one of those quiet achievers in this competition. That beautiful chocolate pudding that you did in the top 50. You captained the red team in the Marco Pierre White Challenge and succeeded. And let's not forget what you did in New York. That dessert set by Paul Librand, it was absolutely exquisite.
I think they did a bloody good job.
Kate, you've given up so much to be here and you've kept right on track. That Darren Purchase dessert that you produced was spectacular.
Oh my goodness.
Of course, that squab dish. It was 10 out of 10. And that pumpkin dessert that you put up in front of Donovan Cook, that absolutely loved.
Michael, you've been such a consistent cook throughout the whole competition, but recently you really started to show some great skills. New York, that Mexican dish.
Now, chili? Sure. Yeah. These are lightly pickled.
The Kris Kringle challenge, that beautiful panna cotta. And most recently, the cookbook challenge, that wonderful chicken dish with grapes.
Well done, Michael. Really great job.
Danny, when you're good, you really nail your dishes. Think about your triumphs in this series. The Korean rice burger.
Does it taste delicious? Absolutely.
That wonderful baklava ice cream. Crisp sheets of phyllo. And that amazing fig ice cream. And then cooking for the Dalai Lama.
This also good, this also good. The bread, really delicious.
By the end of today, 2 of you will be heading into an elimination. And from there, 1 of you is going home.
Your challenge today is a pressure test. Same ingredients, same time limits, same recipe. And what a pressure test we've lined up for you. It's been set by someone who's been part of your lives all the way back as early as the top 50. The challenges that they have set before have brought strong men to their knees. You all think you know who it is, but only one of you knows for sure. So, Michael, why don't you do the honours? Why don't you introduce our guest?
Today, the dish is being cooked by Maggie Beer.
Oh, really?
He's tricked us.
Please welcome Maggie Beer.
I think what Michael's done is fairly cheeky, but kind of funny as well.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
I don't think the girls are that thrown. I mean, they don't know what the dish is anyway.
Michael,
And whenever Maggie walks in the kitchen, everyone becomes happy.
Oh, South Australia.
I love Maggie. I can't believe that she's here again.
This is not going to be easy.
Maggie, I think you can tell by that reaction, we love having you back in here. You were here for the top 50. You're now here for our final 4. What do you reckon?
You obviously have worked so hard, and so each one of you are to be congratulated.
Back in the top 50, Maggie provided a trio of desserts. They looked simple, they looked easy, but they weren't. Now you're battle-hardened finalists. You guys are more skilled, so that means Maggie's dish is more treacherous.
Maggie is the ultimate smiling assassin. She might look all sweet and cuddly, but she is going to get you with every single difficult element on a dish that she can.
Maggie, will you do the honours?
Absolutely. The dish you're going to cook today is very country. A chook terrine and a few other components, just a few. Golden shallots, bread and butter pickles my way. You've got some little Persian figs, and here, a walnut flatbread.
The girls don't actually realise how difficult the dish is. This is tough. That's why they've saved it for finals week.
The terrine looks beautiful. It looks scrumptious.
So the terrine has got quite a few ingredients in it. These layers in between the chicken breast are the farce of the chicken leg, the pork belly minced up, and the belly bacon with the herbs and the orange and a few breadcrumbs. Easy.
Yeah, right. Simple.
So basically you've got farce, breast, farce, breast, farce.
That's right.
And then, of course, the skin wraps it all together.
The skin is, you know, nature's way of keeping us moist.
The terrine has chicken skin lining it. Chicken skin is one of those things that kind of scare cooks. It's easily ripped, it's just nerve-wracking.
You are only going to get one chicken to make this terrine.
And of course, the skin of the chicken can't get holes in it. That is critical.
If it's got holes in it, then that's going to allow the filling to spill out, which is going to look ugly, but also it will make the dish a little bit drier, and you don't want a dry terrine.
Would you like me to slice, maybe?
You slice. You do the hard bit, I'll do the easy.
Done.
Okay.
Yum, lunch.
And you can get your hands dirty. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Can you get the citrus?
So good.
It's really good.
Oh, this terrine tastes like Maggie. It just tastes beautiful.
Michael, it's the second time you've tasted this. Is it just as good?
It's better the second time. I think. The more and more you eat it, the better and better it'll get. It's beautiful.
Ladies, it's not quite the dessert you expected, but this is going to be a cracker challenge.
Maggie's dishes are deceiving. They look simple and rustic and beautiful, but there is a lot of technique that goes in them, which makes them actually quite difficult.
Maggie is going to be joining us on the judging panel, so she is the one you have to impress. You have 2 hours and 15 minutes to reproduce that terrine and all those beautiful little accompaniments.
I'm a little bit apprehensive. The entire terrine cooking time and resting time takes 1 hour and 45 minutes. So we really need to put our foot down at the start.
If there was ever a time to pull out all the stops and give it everything you have to secure your place in the top 2, it's now. Maggie, would you like to do the honours?
I would. Good luck, everyone. But your 2 hours and 15 minutes starts now.
We've got 2 hours and 15 minutes to cook Maggie's dish. Timing's everything in this challenge. It's something we've all struggled with in the MasterChef kitchen. And to get this dish up and cooked perfectly, you have to hit the time dead on.
The whole terrine is wrapped in a chicken skin. Actually quite difficult to get the skin off a chicken in one go. I haven't done this before, and I feel so paranoid about getting a hole in this chicken skin that I decide to take my time.
I split the chicken skin down the backbone and just peel it off as gently as I can, making sure I don't make any holes at all.
I'm just taking my time because I know I don't have another chook, so I have to just make sure that this is perfect.
Kate and Alana are doing what seems like the logical first step and taking the skin off the chicken. And I've taken the skin off the chicken. I did it last night, and I know that it doesn't take that long. So I'm going to get all the other little elements ready first. I chop up my thyme, my parsley, my rosemary, and I then zest 2 lemons and 1 orange.
Danny's doing something very similar to me. She's doing her herbs first, and she's obviously got a good game plan because it's going to work, I'm hoping.
The first thing that I do is start on the mise en place for the terrine, so chopping up the herbs, chopping up the pork, and just getting everything ready before I start working on that chook.
Guys, Maggie Beer's in the house. You've got 2 hours to go.
Taking the skin off the chicken, it's not as delicate as I think the girls think it is. You can be a little bit rough with it and actually pull it. It actually breaks away really well.
Hey, Alana, nice work.
Even though I've managed to get the chicken skin off, I've actually wasted 20 minutes doing that, which is annoying. I move straight on to deboning the chicken. I pop that in the fridge. Then I move on to getting the pork belly ready for the farce.
25 minutes in and I've only just got my chicken skin off, and look, realistically I wanted to get my terrine in the next 5 minutes and that's just not going to happen. I'm way behind where I wanted to be, and I'm really worried now.
This is not easy, is it?
No, it isn't easy. It's tricky. It's
now,
tricky.
25 minutes in, having got to this stage, it's really pushing. It's a long time, isn't it?
That worries me.
To get it all
sort
done.
of thought about 7 to 10 minutes for boning.
Wow, so double the time.
Because it takes 1 hour and a quarter for cooking.
I'm determined to take my time and get this skin off the chicken properly. Slow and steady sometimes wins the race. Yay! Because I've taken a bit longer to get my chicken skin off than everybody else, I am hyper aware that I need to work doubly fast now in order to catch up.
Kate, I saw you
I did it!
Show us,
Very
show us.
excited.
Look at that, excellent job.
You've left the fat, which is great because that'll be moist as.
Really gorgeous.
Yes.
You know, the thing you've really got to do now is push it along. It's half an hour,
I know.
and you're still boning the chicken. So that's your biggest enemy at the moment.
I'm now breaking down the chicken, taking the breasts off, deboning the legs. And I just slip and the knife goes straight through my thumb. It's not good. It's a pretty deep cut and it's definitely bleeding properly, and I just want to get a Band-Aid on it, get it wrapped and get back to cooking.
It's all right, it's not your fault. Go, go, go.
It's going to cost me time, and I don't have this time to spare, and it's going to be the difference between me getting this dish up and not getting it up.
Can I help?
No, look,
Yeah, go on, give him a hand. How many wounded fingers have you fixed up in your time?
Oh, lots. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's all right. Is it
That'll be
is it
fine.
deep or is it all right?
we'll find out later. I think that's fine.
Livers, how many livers?
To create the farce for the terrine, you chop up the chicken thigh, the pork belly and the bacon. It all gets put into a food processor, blended up to a really sort of fine mince, and then mixed through with the herbs and the breadcrumbs.
You have an hour and a half to go.
I'm really concerned that I'm still blending meat. That means I'm entering the danger zone here of not getting this in the oven in time.
This terrine takes it between an hour and a half, so I am really under the pump.
And once it's been cooked, it's got to rest for 15 minutes to finish cooking through. It's very technical and a very tight time frame that we've got in which to do this.
I'm going to mix this in and then I can start.
I was hoping to have my terrine in the oven with an hour and 45 minutes to go, and I've missed that mark by a good 17 minutes, maybe even 18 minutes. With Maggie Beer's food, you get blindsided and you just sort of lulled in this false sense of security. You're thinking you're cooking this country-style cooking and you're not. It's tough. Once you got the skin in the terrine mould, you need to layer up fast meat, chicken breast, raisins, and then top that with some more fast meat, some more chicken breast, some more raisins, finish it with the fast meat, wrap it in the skin, a little bit of baking paper, some foil, and put it in the oven in a water bath at 200 degrees. Now I just have to hope that my terrine gets cooked in the time.
Michael's the only one with his terrine in the oven. None of us girls are even close. At this rate, I don't think we're going to make it.
Ladies, an hour and 15 minutes to go, and can I tell you that terrine takes about an hour to an hour and a half to cook. You do the sums, but can I offer you a little bit of chefy advice? Move your bums, come on.
I'm ready to start layering my terrine, but I'm really concerned because I took so long to prep everything and I really wish that I moved my butt.
Now my terrine's in the oven, the next step is to make the walnut flatbread. I get warm milk, add yeast, honey and flour, whisk the mixture together, then let it rest for 15 minutes.
Come on, get it in, get
The
it
water
in.
bath will protect it for a while.
All right, now I need to clean.
Yes.
If this thing cooks in an hour and has enough time to rest, I might be okay. But it's pretty touch and go here.
Once the terrine is actually in the oven, the accompaniments on their own aren't that time consuming, but having to do another 4 elements to a dish all at once is when we can get unstuck.
This is finals week, and you don't want to be in the bottom 2. You've got 60 minutes to go.
To make the bread and butter pickles, it's a combination of some verjuice, butter, apple cider vinegar, some rosemary, and then the cucumbers. They just get sautéed off for a couple of minutes, and you allow the vinegar to cool down and pickle the cucumbers.
The figs need to be steeped in red wine vinegar for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're nice and soft. And then you need to cook separately some onion and fennel and get that nice and caramelised, and then later you combine the two and cook it. They're really a typical Maggie Beer dish.
I take my yeast mixture for the walnut flatbreads and then I add ginger, fennel seeds, orange rind, and some finely chopped roasted walnuts.
And then you need to take the milk mixture and mix it into your flour, roll it out into a nice thin dough, and then bake it in the oven for around 15 to 20 minutes.
This bread needs to be absolutely paper thin and crisp.
Maggie, can you check my bread dough?
Yeah. OK, where are your walnuts?
Oh.
Where are your walnuts?
I've missed out on putting the walnuts in the walnut flatbread.
Have you roasted your walnuts?
I missed a critical step.
I feel like I've been faced with this giant recipe and I'm struggling to keep my head above water.
I'm not going to have enough time to do this.
I make the decision that I'm not going to include my flatbread. If I put up bread that doesn't have walnuts, I mean, you might as well not have any bread at all.
I did say multitasking, didn't I? But you've only got 30 minutes left.
Come on, guys, time to move it.
To make the vinicotto golden shallots, they first get roasted off in the oven, then popped into the pan with the vinicotto and just caramelised with some thyme as well.
This has been on for an hour now, and the first time to check it, I'm just really hoping it gets that right temperature in the middle.
The recipe says the internal temperature must be 57 degrees at this stage. After that, I need to rest it in the water bath for 15 minutes so I can keep cooking the residual heat. But right now, the magic number is 57.
More.
What do you reckon?
Get up more. Oh no, come on.
The temperature only gets to 42 degrees, and that's not enough.
42, it needs to go back in, yep.
More time, more time.
To get up to 57, it's probably going to take more like another half an hour or another 20 minutes, and I don't have that. So I'm either just going to make it or I'm going to miss it.
Come on, boys, go, go, go.
15 minutes to go. A little bit of advice. You need to move faster.
When I check the temperature in my Terrine, it's reading in the 30s. This thing has to get into the 50s before I can take it out of the oven, let alone the resting time. We might as well crank the oven up because better to serve overcooked terrine than undercooked terrine.
Wow, this has been a hell of a challenge. It's in theory an easy dish, but lots of components and lots of little accompaniments, which really adds up to making it a long, long challenge and keeping the time really tight.
Well, the problem is, you know, you race to get that terrine made.
Yeah.
Once you get it made and in the oven, it's all about waiting for it to cook.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that waiting when you carve into it to make sure it looks beautiful and, of course, tastes beautiful.
Checking my terrine again, and after 12 minutes and it slowly gets up to heat. It gets up to 57.
Done, 57, go.
Yeah. I'm gonna let it rest and see how much the heat rises up. And I know the recipe says it needs 15 minutes resting, but I've only got 10, and I'm just hoping the water bath will be hot enough to cook it through.
There's under 10 minutes to go. I get the terrine out of the oven. I pop a thermometer in. And I'm watching, it's ticking. Up, slowly, ticking, 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 ticking.
Is that 56? 57?
You're done, go, come on.
So then now I need to sit it in the water bath still for about 10 minutes.
What does it have to get to?
57.
There really is nothing that you can do to cook the terrine quickly with only a short amount of time to go. You can increase the temperature, but still that's not going to guarantee it's cooked all the way through.
My terrine's been resting for 5 minutes, but the temperature's just not rising like it should be. I've got no other option but to chuck it back into the oven, crank up the temperature, just try and get the heat through it. There's absolutely no margin in my cooking time now. I have to hope that this terrine cooks in that time. So I'm really walking a very thin tightrope.
This is terrine terror time, and you've got 5 minutes to go.
It's like way too much onion.
I need to start plating up. I get my board out, I put all the condiments on there, have them ready to go, so at the last minute, I can turn the terrine out onto the board.
It's not looking like it's even near 40.
There are only 3 minutes to go. I have no more time. I have to get this terrine out so that I can turn it onto the plate.
45, 48.
I am feeling so under pressure, it's unbelievable. It's got to 57 degrees, but with only minutes to go, I haven't left enough resting time. This is a disaster.
Time to turn out those terrines, guys. 1 minute to go. Final touches.
Turning out the terrine, I'm just hoping that it just doesn't collapse all over the wooden chopping board and that it actually holds. I turn it out and yes, it's held.
The terrine, I think, looks delicious. I've got the perfect amount of all the accompaniments on there. I think it looks beautiful.
30 seconds to go.
It's a mad rush to get my condiments plated, but they look good.
10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Your time's up. Well done.
The problem with cooking terrines is I've got no way of telling if this is cooked perfectly in the middle or not, and when I find out, so do the judges, and if it's not cooked in the middle, I'm going to have egg on my face.
I feel really disappointed. I love Maggie Beer. I wanted to be able to go up and give her a big cuddle, but it's not appropriate if you haven't done justice to her dish.
It might send me into the elimination, I'm not sure.
As I take my dish up to the judges, I'm really worried about the terrine. But my accompaniments look good. I'm particularly happy with my bread and my shallots, so I'm hoping Maggie will love them.
Kate, when Maggie Beer walked through those double doors, you jumped up in the air with so much excitement.
I'm a bit in love with Maggie Beer.
So how did you go with the bread, do you think?
I'm really happy with the bread. It's thin, it's crisp, and it tastes great.
Did you roast the walnuts first?
I did roast the walnuts first, and I chopped them quite fine, brushed it with oil and fennel seed, baked it, and I've actually sprinkled a little bit of salt on it at the end.
So what did you struggle with most?
Probably, to be honest, just the time. Getting that chicken skin off, I know it took a long time to do it, and I'm not 100% sure whether that terrine is cooked properly inside.
Well, the only way for us to know is to come forward and we'll cut the terrine.
Okay.
As I put the knife into that first slice, it's looking a bit too pink.
Well,
I don't know if that's because of the pork or if that's slightly underdone.
Kate, what are you thinking now that you've cut into the terrine and plated it up?
Yeah, I think it needed longer in the oven, particularly in the middle.
Kate, thank you so much for your efforts. We're going to taste now.
Thank you.
It's really disappointing to get all this way in the competition and then let myself down simply because I didn't work fast enough.
I'll just take a bit off the edge.
Go around the edge.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit... Be careful, Georgie. I'm not going to eat it, just in case.
My gut feeling's telling me that this terrine is raw in the middle.
The terrine is a disaster, let's be honest. It's a
Yes.
shame because it looks brilliant. Another 20 minutes and I think it would have been cooked.
I mean, you couldn't serve that. That's the sadness of it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, she took 30 minutes to remove the skin, and that really put her in a bad position.
But the actual terrine before Kate cut into it was beautiful.
Condiments?
Oh, I love these shallots.
Beautiful.
I
Shallots?
love these. They're beautiful. They're sweet, they're sticky, they're caramel, they're yum. Matthew, are you going to say anything today?
I'm really disappointed for Kate. Yeah, the shallots are lovely, but I can't get past that thing of how much work I see in that terrine. Beautifully layered it is, the fine knife work around the herbs, and it looks like so much work's gone into it. And I find it just kind of quite upsetting that it's like that.
Well, let's get the next dish in and see how they've done.
I feel really proud of my dish. I think the terrine looks beautiful, the accompaniments look great, and I think it's something that Maggie will really love.
Hello.
Ooh, looks good.
Hello, Alana.
Bay leaves on the top as well.
A little artistic. I was impressed with your cool. You might have been sort of running inside like a duck paddling, but I didn't see you lose that cool, and I think it looks beautiful. I'd like to taste it. Yes.
Slicing the terrine, it's do or die here. There's so much riding on this.
Thank you, Maggie.
Okay, Lana, let's hope it's cooked all the way through.
Yep, let's hope.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Walking away, all I can do is just cross my fingers and hope that that terrine is cooked. Because if it's not, I am for certain in an elimination.
Well, I thought the way Alana presented it on the board, she used most all of the accompaniments. I was pleased to see that.
It looked beautiful on the board.
Yeah,
Yes.
love it.
But now, Maggie?
Now, it's undercooked.
Yeah. The chicken's cooked the breast in the middle, but that fast meat there is cooked, but there's raw. Raw.
The one thing she's done very well, though, is the farce has been beautifully amalgamated.
All right, so shall we taste the bits that are cooked? I can taste the top part of mine. And actually, it's got a beautiful flavour as well, the seasoning, the herbs.
Those bread and butter pickles are beautiful. They're cooked, but they've still got some crunch to them. And the flavours, the herb flavours, and the terrine are great.
Let's get the next dish in.
Right?
I'm happy with the dish that I'm presenting, but I'm scared because I haven't included the walnut flatbread.
Danny, how'd you go?
I think I did okay apart from the obvious missing element, the bread.
What happened?
I just made a huge mistake and didn't read one of the steps properly and didn't have any walnuts.
Now, how long did you actually have this in the oven for?
I probably had it in for an hour and 5 minutes.
Did you alter the temperature at any time to accelerate it because of the short time in the oven?
No, I just kept it on 200 degrees.
Okay. Well, I think the big test is cutting it.
I can't wait.
Slicing my terrine, it's got a slight pinkish tinge, but I think that's okay.
The condiments?
Well, we can't put bread on.
Well, thanks, Danny.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Off you go.
The judges are giving away absolutely nothing. I cannot tell if it's cooked or undercooked.
They're the best figs.
Figs are fantastic, aren't they?
The best of all.
But again, sadly, a little bit too much pink in the hue of the meat. The real question is, for me, is this terrine servable? Would you serve this in Phoenix, Gary?
No.
Would you serve it in Prescott, George?
No.
Would you serve it at the Pheasant Farm, Maggie?
No.
Well, we wanted Maggie to give them a challenge.
I totally did.
Oh. Let's get the next dish in.
I've had the advantage, and that means the judges must be expecting a perfect terrine from me, and I hope that's what they get.
Please.
Michael, it was all about you today. So were you pleased with your dish or not?
I'm really happy with my bread. I think my sides have come up well. I think my shallots might have seen a little bit too much of the pan.
Oh, no.
And I was happy with my terrine when I turned it out. It smells nice, and I tasted some of the juices, and they tasted nice, but I suppose I can't tell you how good it is till I cut it in half.
So you think it's had enough time in the oven to cook through?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Until we cut it, we're not going to be sure, but I think the way you've presented it is very good. It's got that sort of lusciousness from the skin that feels like it's cooked more, doesn't it? So I think the only way to go now is the big cut.
Michael, you can do the honours, my friend.
Cutting through this terrine is the biggest moment of this whole dish, and if that's not cooked, advantage lost here and now.
Ooh. Matt likes the end bits, or I like the end bits.
I love the end bits.
Cutting my terrine, it's all holding together and the layers look good, but it seems a little bit pink.
Happy?
Almost. Maybe a little bit more in the oven. Just a couple more minutes, I think.
All right, then. Thanks, Michael. We'll taste now.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Michael.
It looks fantastic coming to the table, doesn't it?
Yes.
Those toffeed little figs look magnificent. The terrine, that loaf-sized terrine's a perfect size. And again, wonderfully flecked with herb, the terrine, and those seams of chicken showing through against the pork farce.
Let's taste.
Yep.
So is that cooked?
No, this is not cooked.
But in comparison to the others,
it's one step ahead.
It's one step ahead.
So I honestly thought this one would be cooked. He was the fastest cab off the rank. He got the terrine in, and I think he was pretty confident. Even when he popped the thermometer in, I thought, yeah, that's going to be cooked in time. But it just goes to show how crucial that resting period is.
But I love Michael's bread. It's really tasty.
Yeah. Can't stop eating it.
And I love the walnuts in it. It's delicious. His bread and butter pickles are yummy.
The pickles have got a nice little kiss of rosemary about them. But I can't get past, if a dish comes to the table in a restaurant, no matter how beautiful the garnishes are, if the main element's raw, it's going back and you're not happy.
Yes, sadly I have to agree.
In terms of terrines, you know, they present beautifully at the table. You cut them open, they've got exactly the right seaming, you've got all the elements you want to see in there, and that one thing, that element of time in the oven, has stymied them all. The other option is to take the terrine out of the equation and say who's done the best job overall in terms of garnishes.
But the garnishes are irrelevant. They're irrelevant. The terrine is the king on the plate.
So
I think particularly because it's finals week. We can judge the accompaniments, but they're like the also-rans of the dish.
You know what? At the end of the day, let's not kid ourselves. It's finals week. We can't muck around with stuff like this.
We have a weight of responsibility to make the right decision. Agreed?
Agree.
OK, let's go and let them know. It was funny this morning when all 3 girls thought that Adriano Zumbo was about to walk into the kitchen, and then Maggie walked in and you went, "Oh, it's Maggie. We love Maggie, she's gorgeous, and we love her food." Guess what? She unleashed hell. That was a very technical dish. It involved a lot of work, and all of you were under the pump. Kate, you gave us beautifully caramelised, slightly burny shallots that were delicious. But the terrine was raw.
I really feel like I've let down the judges and I've let down Maggie.
Danny, those figs were the best of the day. Perfectly balanced, beautifully sweet. But no bread. And let's be honest, you could not serve that terrine in a restaurant. Alana, the presentation was beautiful. The pickles, fantastic balance of flavour, lovely acidity. But your terrine needed more time in the oven. Michael, the bread was delicious. We couldn't stop eating it. So Moorish. Pickles, delicious. Your terrine was in the oven far longer than anybody else's today, but it still fell short of the mark.
It's definitely embarrassing for all 4 of us. I think especially embarrassing for me. I had this great advantage, but I blew it.
I really wanted you to do so well at this. You put heart and soul into it. And it was just that timing at the beginning, that being so focused on not putting holes in the skin actually took you away from the main game of getting that terrine in the oven as quickly as possible.
We tested this dish vigorously, just so you know. 15 times we tested that terrine to make sure that you guys could nail it within time, and we added half an hour just to make sure.
I feel like I've done you wrong.
No, you haven't. Oh. I think we've done you wrong.
At this point of the competition, we're looking for restaurant quality dishes. And the problem is that none of your dishes could have been served in any restaurant. So there was only one decision that we could make. All of you must cook off tomorrow in the elimination.
Wow, that dish basically brought all 4 of us to our knees, and we're facing elimination because of that.
I've just made poor decisions along the way, and now I'm going to be in an elimination tomorrow simply because I didn't go faster.
Tomorrow is about you cooking for redemption. Cooking to prove that you belong here in the top 4, because we think you do. We saw enough skill and technique today to confirm that you belong here. But now I think you need to prove to yourselves you do. And that's what you'll do tomorrow. 4 of you will cook, 3 of you will stay in the competition, 1 of you will go home.
Maggie Beer, thank you so much for coming back into the MasterChef kitchen. You are a big part of this MasterChef family.
Thank you.
And we hope you'll come back.
Oh, you've got to come back.
Guys, go and get some rest, and we'll see you back in the kitchen tomorrow. All 4 of you, that is.
And don't lose heart.
See you guys.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Tomorrow, it's all about doing the best thing that you can do to get yourself to that finale. It's definitely game on.
Tomorrow night on MasterChef Australia.
Tell us your story. We want you to tell it via your food.
They can cook whatever they like.
My favourite 2 words, open pantry.
It's an incredible opportunity to impress.
That is a winner.
Absolute knockout.
Just look at this, look.
Huh?
But someone's got it wrong. And it might just cost them the title.